In this video, I brought democracy to Russia. Could I become a beacon of freedom? Watch the video to see. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today, I'm going to be doing something that, for some reason, Paradox never decided to add into the game, and that is Democratic Russia. The mod I will be playing will be in the description below if you want to check it out. But without further ado, let's just hop on into it. Everyone, welcome to the Soviet Union. We, of course, started with a massive army, 138 divisions, and I really don't care too much about keeping them around, so let's disband every single one of them. Except for the NKVD guys, which can't be. And yes, so, of course, we will need to go into a civil war just like normal, but let me show you what the mod here has added. All of this down here, where we can reinstate the Duma and begin elections. And then we have a choice between continuing the monarchy or returning to the Republic over here and becoming a full-fledged democracy. So yes, we might as well get started with beaten but not defeated and start to chip away at Mr. Stalin's influence here in the Soviet Union or in Russia in general. Okay, there we go. And let's work on unifying the exiles and doing all this stuff. And now we can set up our secret headquarters in Chita, so let's do that. Stalin, concerned about factionalism. What do you have to be worried about, Joseph? There's nothing going on. Don't bother checking out why all of our economy is heading over here into the east. I've just hired Mikhail Kalinin for 150 political power. It doesn't say that there's any prerequisites towards him being here, so I hope once the Civil War starts, he sticks around, or else that was a waste of 150 political power. Every single one of these we're just going to get rid of for now, and just pray Stalin doesn't find out too early. Alright, and with this focus here, we can expand our influence over in the east, so it is imperative we do that one right now and embrace the Black Hundreds. Let's muster the Old Guard, and we're going to continue just rushing down this tree right here until the Civil War begins, probably. But yes, now that that focus was done, we can infiltrate other states, so let's start with doing that. Stalin's going around and shooting people. Alright, let's get rid of a little bit of communist support with Article 124. As you can see by our little flag icons, we've formed a nice little trail that does follow the railway down here. So I'd like to secure that and get up to the Urals. The only thing about these ones is that Stalin is beginning to notice, and his paranoia is gaining. Stalin, don't worry about it, man. It'll all be over soon. Georgy Zhukov is being accused. Berzarin is a level 3 general, however, Zhukov is level 5. Let's get rid of Berzarin because I believe it said that he was already a Stalinist and secured by Stalin, so yeah, we're just gonna get rid of him, and hopefully Zhukov will join our side? I don't know. The Eye Sphere, the hands do. And here we are, the second Russian Civil War. To arms, gentlemen. And this is the land we've secured. We have cut the Soviet Union in half. We have 3 spawn-ins. Let's immediately start training up some divisions. I did do the anti-air strat. You can judge me if you want, but I'm not dealing with a civil war right now, especially the Russian Civil War. I feel like that's the one everyone cheeses, and I'm going to do the same. Alright, let's see if Germany, Italy, and Japan will send us some volunteers. We'll do a call for aid. Maybe they'll help us out. 12 Rookie divisions ready to help out, so we'll snake for some big victory points. We also have some partisans. Yep, 6 more divisions. Why are the partisans all the way out here? I feel like they're not going to do too well. Oh boy, why do they have so many divisions? It appears the Soviets must get spawn-ins too. I think the mod developer must have added that in. Let's keep spamming out troops for right now. Okay, good. Germany and Italy both sent 4 divisions. They will be very much appreciated. Alright, let's do some sabotaging because they actually have a lot more than I thought. Look at how many divisions. They have up to 81 divisions. There we go. Slowly but surely, we are starting to get in a little bit of an army out. 16 fresh divisions are about to join the front line. We're even grabbing a few encirclements here. Okay, and we can sabotage. Where can we sabotage? Well, we can. Okay, enemy units will suffer damage to their org. Very interesting. We could use that if we need to get any big encirclements. Alright, we're making some moves. I pray that they're good. Alright, Kyrgyzstan is uprising, so it is good. We will start to see those. But we don't really care for them right now. We're still going to declare on them. But it will be nice that they will start to help out us in a way. This is not going terrifically, but it is nice to see unrest in the Soviet Union, and they get some industry damage, and their surrender limit decreases. That will be very nice. We just have to defend our rear now, because that's going to get precarious if we start to lose Chita, our capital. Well, that is a big one for us. Ukraine is now broken free, and they actually have a lot of divisions. That should be a very nice distraction here in the Soviet Union. We're out of supply in a lot of areas. So are they, I mean, but it is just not nice. It is not fun fighting over here. Okay, it does seem that that is a very nice distraction for us. They have mostly left the front line here, so I'm using that to my advantage now. I'm snaking some more and taking more of the railway that we'll need to connect to the supply hubs. Go. Finally, we've made it into some sort of a city and another supply up here in Chelyabinsk. Alright, so I'm just snaking now pretty much. Looks like Ukraine's about to capitulate, so we should move before they... Okay, well, there goes Ukraine. But yeah, I'm just snaking, and I guess hopefully it is long before the Russian forces come back to the front. But we're just going to grab as much land as we can now before they return. There we go. Looks like an army stockpile has been captured, and yeah, I guess any little bit helps, right? Just don't look at that. Ooh, and I saw we have some enemy desertions. Hey, look, that is 6 divisions. Yes, it is good to see that their divisions are starting to come over to the good side. And we finally have just about the same, if not more divisions than them. All these desertions are really helping us out. And we're nearly on our way to Moscow. We're just going to start to head there. Look, there's more desertions. Perfect. And there we go. We've made it into Moscow. Let's just keep snaking with this bad boy. We're about to walk into Leningrad here. Hopefully this should do it. And yes, it looks like it. Yeah, there we go. Man, that was actually pretty tough. But we've capitulated the Soviet Union. Let's just take everything. Alright, and there we go. Just a few more breakaways to take care of. So we'll get going on to doing that now. And there we go. Victory. The communist regime has fallen. A new Russia shall rise. Time to move on. Okay, we have an event, the capital of the provisional Russian government. Let's keep it in Moscow. Definitely the best city in terms of railway connections. There goes Kalmykia. Alright, we have an event here, de-Stalinization. We can change the name of all the Soviet Stalin cities, so we can get Stalingrad to be Tsaritsyn or Volgograd. Let's choose Volgograd. We're not dealing with the Tsar here today. We're becoming a republic. And there goes the mountainous Republic of Dagestan. There goes Georgia, and goodbye Turkmenistan, and Azerbaijan, and finally, the Komi Republic. Finally, all of our breakaways are back and integrated into the provisional Russian government. It's nice seeing an economy again, so we should probably start building one before some not-so-friendly neighbors come knocking. Okay, it seems our meddling in ahistorical affairs has also caused Lithuania to declare on Poland. I don't know if that's going to work out so good for you, Lithuania. Focus-wise, we've rebuilt the Savior Cathedral for some great construction speed and stability. Now we're going to reformalize the role of the Patriarchate, and now we are going to reconvene the Zemsky Sobor. We actually get the Romanov Spirit, which is a pretty good boost for us, and the return of the Tsar, but I don't think they're going to be sticking around for too much longer after that. And here's the return of the Tsar, and we are now green, and we are now Russia, and there is Vladimir. Okay, but we're not going to go down any of these two. No, we're going to go down our new path over here. Let's reinstate the Duma. And Kerensky will return from exile. And somehow our country is at 100% stability. I don't know how, so please don't ask me. Oh god, what happened to Lithuania? Poland, why didn't you take everything when they pieced them in? Why did you just leave them alive right here? Now we just need more than 50% support for the Trudovics, the Democratic Party, to begin elections. So I've hit a anti-Brown Party raid here, which should hopefully get us that ticking support, along with our Democratic influence that's already there. And speaking of Democratic support, Mr. Kerensky is here to provide us with that, so let's hire him. The great Russian industry is now hard at work. Let's start producing some military factories. Can't believe how many civs we have already. And there, finally we're past 50% Democratic support. Let's begin our elections. Another interesting alternate history choice, Slovakia for Danzig. So Germany has not gone to war with Poland, instead they've offered them Slovakia and they've accepted. It's going to be interesting to see when Germany actually goes to war with the Allies, or even if they'll go to war with Poland at all. Okay, well Germany has still decided to go in on the Benelux. They're in on Luxembourg. World tension's not high enough, I don't think, for them to be in the Allies. Okay, but that might do it. They're now at war with the Netherlands as well, and I'm guessing they'll declare on Belgium. Well, they just got Luxembourg for free. Alright, but here are our elections. The Duma election, January of 1940. Who is declared the winner? Let's see. We can get the Trudovics with Kerensky. We can get the Progressives with Peter Stuve, who is a liberal journalist. Or we can get Alexander Konovalov, who's a liberal corporatist. Let's give Kerensky his place in the spotlight, and the Trudovics remain popular. Base Hearts of Iron 4, you can't get Kerensky. In, I think, Kaiserreich, he just gets shot right away, so we're going to give him his storyline here today. And the Republic will return. Angering the Brown Party and the autocrats, we're going to lose a bit of stability, but that's alright. It is all worth it. Okay, and Germany just got all of Netherlands and the Dutch East Indies for free, but they did just go to war with Belgium right after that, so that was a very smart move by the mustache man. He now owns this, but now he is at war with the Allies. The Great Russian Army is being rebuilt, and we are going to be so back. And we're even going to start building the Russian Air Force, a new Russian Air Force, a better Russian Air Force. These are going to be our fighters. If you care to know, this is pretty much the same fighter I make in every single one of my playthroughs, so there you go, if you need a good fighter design. I don't know if it's the meta, but it's what I use. The Republic returns, and we are now the Russian Federation. Very nice. Kerensky still in charge, of course. Now this unlocks a lot of things for us here. We can reforge old alliances, and I believe that would probably be, joining the Allies. Russia first, where we create our own faction. Or we can do the Eastern Security Pact. We can invite Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Romania, and Finland, it appears. Also over here, we have a choice between the Union of Sovereign Republics, or dismantling the Union and releasing constituent states as integrated puppets. You know what? I honestly think that's what I want to do. I want to dismantle the Union. We're going to be the good Russia today. And yeah, look at that. The great Russian industry is fully back. Okay, Germany is going after Lithuania, and they've gone after Poland because, yeah, they were somehow guaranteed. Even after that little conflict they had, they both guaranteed each other. Germany's even going after Estonia. Guessing, yeah, they will probably go after Latvia as well. So we are going to have to deal with a pretty big front line with the Germans. The UK is actually asking us if we want to join the Allies. I don't. And there, we have dismantled the Union. We now have Belarus, Ukraine, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, that are all free now. And we become the orchestrator of democracies. I like that. Let's do that. And yes, our meddling has made the Germans start to justify on us in August of 1940. That is not fantastic, I will say that. And I've just started to build up the railways, but I don't think we're going to have that done in time. It also does depend on what the Germans can actually declare on. If it's only us, then we should have a pretty small border and we can recover. But if they can get war goals on Belarus and Ukraine, then we might be in a little bit of trouble, at least for the beginning. And yes, we are now the orchestrator of democracy. Should probably do a military reorganization before the Germans come in. Let's get an agency going, and no, I don't think we're going to call it the NKVD, we'll call it the Russian Friends Association. And yes, the Germans are here, and the third 5-year plan is disrupted. Stalin, I don't think you're around anymore, and also I thought we sort of done away with the 5-year plan, or we're about to at least. But yes, curse them, curse the Germans. Another invite to the Allies, we're not going to do that. Let's get our planes up. Hopefully we can hold this line, and it does appear that they only do have war goals on us, so it is just this little front line that we'll have to hold, and hopefully we can do that. Thankfully, we just completed military reorganization, and that debuff is gone. Alright, and we can do desperate measures, so let's get on to that. There we go, so desperate measures done. Now we just have to wait a full year until we're able to do lessons of war. I am just going to keep improving our air force because I think that is the key to trying to hold here. Japan is sending us a non-aggression pact. This does give us some resources, a civ, some infrastructure. You know what, I am going to accept this non-aggression pact with you, Japan. Thankfully, even with our terrible air force, we are still trading nicely with the Germans. Our planes are just probably much better than theirs. We pretty much halted the German offensive. They only took this one tile from us here in Pskov. I hope that's how you say that. And we've taken 78,000 casualties at this point in the war. The Germans have taken almost 400,000 to us. So yeah, we are holding this line very nicely. Alright, I feel like I can do it. I'm going to get my air up here. I'm going to call Belarus into the war. Adam Stankiewicz, are you ready, sir? And we're going to do a full-fledged offensive, hoping to cut the Germans off from where they're attacking us up here in the north. It appears our lines have stabilized. We're just going to need a little bit of more air power before we can actually make any meaningful pushes. Germany? Why did you just declare on Ireland? That's a very bold move for them. We'll see if it pays off. Alright, the German strength bars are getting quite low. They are pushing us, but again, I don't think they can sustain these losses. At least not like we can. I'm going to attempt a little selective pushback here in the Baltics. See if it works. Alright, if we play our cards right, and by the way, the US has just joined the war, we should be able to get this encirclement here of 9 German divisions. Just don't look up here where I got 8 divisions encircled. Just look at these 9 Germans, right? There it is, 9 Germans. Let's take them out. You know what, now that we've sort of stabilized ourselves a little bit, let's do some internal management and continue down our democratic side of the tree. Look at all those green bubbles from withholding these German offensives. You'll love to see it. Alright, and let's do this focus. The fate of the Black Hundreds. I'm curious to see what's going to happen here. Alright, here we are. Let's see. The Black Hundreds were a paramilitary force that, while loyal to the Tsar, also attacked minorities. No, I don't think I want that here in this Russia. We're not going to give them a pass. They will not be tolerated in the new Russia. 5% war support, be darned. So we just released the Avengers, if you saw there, and got 10 more percent. And now we're between social democracy and capitalism, except no, we can't do capitalism because Kerensky is a social democrat. So let's do this focus. That is a very nice boost for our industry. Thankfully, desperate measures just ran out, so we can do lessons of war right when this focus is done. And we're doing some own lessons ourselves. I'm really thinking we can cut this off this time. We've got, okay, yellow air, but we did have green air. I think we can get a few encirclements here and cut off Germany from the rest of Estonia here. Alright, you know what? Never let me talk again. Alright, gentlemen, it's also time we get everyone in this war. Let's call in Ukraine on the border here. This could be an issue, but you know what? I want a challenge if that's the case. So let's call them into the Italian-American War and see how this goes. Churchill, get out of here with your invite. You know what? We're going to create our own faction right now. We're going to call it the Russian Association of Friends. There we go. That is a nice name in a world dominated by the Axis. No, thank you. The Allies, nah. The Greater East Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere, cringe. The Russian Association of Friends is where it's at. Fast as king, everyone. Look at this. We're pushing right through. Come on. This has to be the offensive that we finally cut the Germans off, right? Has to be. Yes, there we go. We've cut them off. Let's push them out. And there go those last few German divisions here in the pocket. Tanks are cringe. We're going with the good old-fashioned mass assault, just like Russia intended. Look at this massive pocket we just got. Oh my goodness. Germany, it is so over for you. That was a huge pocket. Let's just see what the casualties are at now. We've taken 800,000 casualties, 775,000 to the Germans. We've inflicted 5.5 million. Oh my goodness. Good for Ukraine. They've also inflicted 215,000. Wow. And only taken 1,000. That is an insane KD ratio. Holy crap. We've achieved a breakthrough here near Königsberg. Looks like we're going to be able to push into the heart of Germany. Let's just see if we can reach Berlin. I don't know. Why not? Hold on, no way we're actually about to just walk into Berlin. Okay, yes we are. There we go, we have made it into Berlin, the fall of Berlin. Let's hit the magic button and keep them pressured. Russian Field Command is pointing at a map and pointing to the ocean. The great Russian army is easily obliging. Look at us, we're pushing into France now. Okay, they've actually made a breakthrough here in Ukraine, but I don't think we should be too worried about that. Maybe we should. They actually do have a lot of troops here. Oh my gosh, we actually cut it off. I believe from a little count, it is 141 Axis divisions here in these two pockets. Oh, and look at this, a joint Argentine-Chilean application. You are welcomed into the Russian Association of Friends. They just saw that awesome encircle when we pulled off, and they're like, oh, we have to join Russia now. And the Germans are 89% towards capitulation, so I think that is a good time to hit the magic button. And the Germans have capitulated now. We are a very similar color to Italy, but don't worry, we'll just be the only green nation left after what we're about to do to them. Looks like the Allies are beating us to it. They're marching over Italy right now. They've just taken Rome. Italy is now in a civil war. We do have the puppet. And they've capitulated. And there we go. The peace deal is done. We gave our allies a ton of land. We also have a ton of puppets. My bad, Mr. Benej. I didn't mean to give Poland a few bits of your land. That's on me. But as you can see, the Russian Association of Friends has grown. Looks like we're still at war with a few people here in the Balkans. Just have to deal with those guys real quick. Well, Greater Albania just joined the Japanese faction, so that might put us at war with them. We're gonna have to move our units over. And Albania, on their deathbed, literally 98% 80% towards capitulation, has called in Japan. Unfortunately, the Japanese have taken Vladivostok before we've had a chance to get over there. Someone will definitely be shot for this. Alright, our troops are here, and we are moving. We've now completed our nice democratic tree. And there we go, we've retaken Vladivostok. Japanese are trying a few naval invasions here into our Russian East Indies, and it's nice to see the Ukrainians and Americans turning up. Alright, let's see if we can make it. And there was nothing on the ports. There we go, the fall of Tokyo. And there goes Japan. And there we go, peace deal is done. We do have a large Russian Japan. There's also an American Japan, but don't worry about it. But anyways, I think we're gonna leave it off here. We started off very slow, but we brought elections back to Russia. We are democratic, we are the good guys, and we have a great Russian association of friends. If you've watched this far, please consider leaving a like or subscribing. It would mean a lot to me. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.